Good morning to all. Welcome you all for this today's session. That is in digital communication subject. We are going to discuss about the band pass signal to equivalent low pass. Okay, under this band pass signal to equivalent low pass, we are in need to analyze as well as we have to study the transforms like Hilbert transform, and from the Hilbert transform pre-envelopes, then complex envelope, then canonical representation of bandpass signals, then complex low-pass representation of bandpass system, then complex representation of bandpass signals and system. Followed by this, the very important parameter in the communication system is line codes, and the line codes are categorized into unipolar, polar, bipolar. Bipolar it is called as alternate mark inversion, that is AMI, and Manchester code and the power spectral densities, okay, of these line codes. And also we have need to discuss about the scrambling technique, that is scrambling of bit, overview of HDB3, that is high density bipolar signaling, and B3 ZS and B6 ZS. Okay, let us discuss in depth of Hilbert transform and properties today. So first, before entering into the Hilbert transform, we all are aware about that the Fourier transform as well as the Laplace transform. So first we will discuss about for what purpose we are using this Fourier transform in the communication system. This Fourier transform is useful for evaluating the frequency content of an energy signal or a power signal, and also it will provide the mathematical basis for analyzing and designing the frequency selective filters. For what purpose we wanted to design or analyze this frequency selective filters? These frequency selective filters are used for the separation of signals which is based on the frequency content. Okay. Now in continuation of this, we are talking about Hilbert transform. Why we need Hilbert transform in this chapter? Another method of separating the signals is based only on the phase selectivity. Okay, so this phase selectivity happened only by using the Hilbert transform. Hilbert transform is nothing but it will uses the phase between the signals to achieve our desired separation. Okay, so that is like phase shift of either plus 90 degree or minus 90 degree. So now the Hilbert transform of a signal x of t is defined as the transform in which the phase angle of all components of the signal is shifted by plus 90 degree or minus 90 degree of x of t. Now after shifting, the signal x of t is represented by x cap of t, and that x cap of t is called a Hilbert transform pair. Okay. So in mathematically it can be expressed x cap of t is equal to Hilbert transform of x of t is equal to x of t convolution of 1 divided by pi t. Now how this pi t has come, let us discuss in the further block diagram. 1 divided by pi is equal to integral minus infinity x of tau into t minus tau into d tau. Okay. Now coming to the next, it is the block diagram how we are going to obtain the g cap of t, that is the Hilbert transform function. Okay. Now coming to this, the original signal g of t is given to the Fourier transform. We know that already we discussed the Fourier transform is used for evaluation of the frequency content of a signal. So if you want to represent any of the signal in the frequency domain, we need to take a Fourier transform. Therefore, such a way, this Fourier transform is very helpful to define the frequency content of the signal. Therefore, g of t is the original signal given to the Fourier transformer. The output we will get g of f with the frequency content of the signal. And then it is given to the multiplier. In the multiplier, we are giving that minus j into signum of f. So what is this minus j into signum of f? That we have to think over here. This minus j, we will call it a signum function. So this signum function is nothing but we know that the definition of Hilbert transform will be interpreted in the way the convolution of g of t with the time function 1 divided by pi t. Okay, and we know that from the convolution theorem, the convolution of two functions in time domain is equivalent to multiplication of their Fourier transform in the frequency domain. Okay, therefore we can write this time function 1 divided by pi t. Therefore we can write it as the time function 1 divided by pi t. Okay, 1 divided by t can be written as minus j into signum function of f. Okay, so that's it what we are doing it over here. 1 divided by pi is nothing but minus j signum function of f. So the multiplier output will be what? So here you will get the output of g of f into minus j signum of f. Okay, that can be written as what? G cap of f. Okay, now this g cap of f is given to the inverse Fourier transformer. So the output of the inverse Fourier transformer is nothing but it is a Hilbert transform. Okay, then followed by this we have to discuss about the signum function and the proof of Hilbert transform. So we know that the magnitude of the frequency component of g of t will remain unchanged. Therefore we can write that modulus of h of omega also we can write, or we can write h of f. So modulus of h of omega or h of w, that is f, is equal to 1. Therefore we have represented here the amplitude is 1.0. This is nothing but the magnitude of frequency component of g of t remain unchanged. Therefore modulus of h of f or modulus of h of omega is equal to 1. And followed by this we wanted to know about the phase change in frequency component. So what is the phase change in frequency component? So this is the graphical representation given over here, like that argument of h of f and plus 90 degree and minus 90 degree. Here from this graphical representation it is clearly understood that there is a positive phase change in positive frequency component by the phase change of minus pi by 2, that is minus 90 degree, and there is a phase change in negative frequency component for the positive phase change, that is plus pi by 2. So using this, how you can write the transfer function of the signal? Therefore we can write the transfer function of the signal is like h of omega is equal to modulus of h of omega into e power j theta omega. So this theta is nothing but plus 90 degree or it is a minus 90 degree. Now we know that this modulus of h of w is equal to 1 from the graphical representation. We can freeze it out. It is e power j theta of omega. Okay, clear? Yes. Now next we will move to what is this theta of omega. This theta of omega is nothing but it is a plus 90 degree. Okay, plus 90 degree for f less than 0 and minus 90 degree for f greater than 0. So this is all about the explanation of this graphical representation. So followed by this we are going to analyze how what I have explained, minus 90 degree phase shift. You assume that you are going to give a x of t signal and also the time function, that is 1 by h pi t, into the Hilbert transformer. So first this is our original signal, that is along with real axis and also the imaginary axis it has been given. You are applying this original signal to the one time to the Hilbert transformer. So the output of the first time Hilbert transformer is, you see, the same signal has been shifted to 90 degree over here. Clear? Yes. Now the shifted 90 degree signal is given once again to the Hilbert transform signal. That is also here shifted. You can observe in the diagrammatic. Now this shifted thing is applying third time to the Hilbert transformer, so that we are getting this output. Then this three times shifted Hilbert transformer output is given to the fourth time, so that we are getting what about the input we are given to the first time of the Hilbert transformer. Okay, this is the basic operation which we are able to understand actually what is happening when we use the Hilbert transformer. Then followed by this, now S cap of t is equal to what? 1 divided by pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of k divided by t minus k into dk. Now we are going to treat this Hilbert transform as the function of convolution. So convolution, the above diagram we have seen, we have passed this x of t with a time function, that is 1 divided by pi of t, which is called as h of t. Therefore, it can be defined, x of t can be defined as integral 1 by pi into integral minus infinity to infinity x of k into t minus k into dk. Now coming to this significance or some of the peculiar properties of Hilbert transform. Here a signal x of t and Hilbert transform s cap of t will have the same amplitude spectrum, same autocorrelation function, and the same energy spectral density. Okay. Now we will call x of t and x cap of t are orthogonal. Then the Hilbert transform of x cap of t can be written as minus x of t. Suppose if you take that if Fourier transform that will be exist, then Hilbert transform also exists for energy and power signals. So in the prior we have studied that the Fourier transform is used to represent the signal or the frequency content of the signal, right? That is power signal or the energy signal. So according to that we can state that if Fourier transform exists, then Hilbert transform also exists for energy and the power signals. So as we said that the g of t and the g cap of t, that means original signal g of t and the Hilbert transform g cap of t is having the same amplitude spectrum. We can see it over here. That is modulus of g of f is equal to modulus of g cap of f. And the property number 2 is nothing but it has the same amplitude spectrum. And the third property is second property is autocorrelation function. G of t, whatever the autocorrelation function for g of t, the same will be for the Hilbert transform g cap of t. That's why we can write it as argument of g of f is equal to minus argument of g cap of f. And the third property, it is nothing but both the signals will be orthogonal to each other and the time interval is minus infinity to infinity, so that we can define it in a mathematical expression such a way that integral minus infinity to infinity g of t into g cap of t into dt is equal to 0. So these all are about the Hilbert transform function, why it has been used, and what is the difference between Fourier transform and the Hilbert transform in the communication system, and what are the 3 properties we have studied. Hope everyone understood this logic. Thank you so much.